Now this is what it looks like with the scrapers on. Nice and even all the way across. Obviously you can see the tape on the opposite side. So we run our fingers through the inside scraper and you'll notice that it's nice and even. Now what we do is on the inside, just take the tape off. Now you don't need it anymore. Okay, so it's all done. So now we should have a nice working kit. Now we got the kit all installed. We rolled it all the way up. We're still going to need a little bit of an adjustment, but the scrapers are in. Sometimes the actual scrape, the bracket that's on the glass pushes up on the scraper line. What needs to happen is the body itself at this point right here needs to get a little bit wider. So if you put in a wedge, you can actually wedge this part open without creasing anything, and everything should be working good after you do that. One of the other adjustments that we need to do is the vertical guide, just a little bit, just because now the scrapers are on. I just want to adjust a little bit more. As you notice, everything is good. This stain is actually from the weather strip adhesive that we use. We can clean that off later, so don't worry about that. That's just excess. So what I do is normally leave the window in the up position, let this dry, let the scraper line dry. Then we roll it down, and then if we need to widen at that point, we will. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. So now this is the full one-piece kit from One Piece Products for the 67 to 72 Chevy truck bodies. This is almost the final step. We still need to do the wiring. The wiring is pretty simple. Since this truck has it has really no wiring in it, makes it easy for us. You notice the bracket for the new check link. The check link was actually originally here. Now it's gone, so we have our new version, which is right here. It's a solid mount. Works great. So what do you think? Not too shabby, right? You will notice the glass is fully in. We've been cleaning it a little bit. The window itself works up and down great. I'm going to show you how it works in a little bit. If you notice, when we installed this kit, we only modified the rear latch assembly. Normally, on some cars, you do have to grind on the inside hump, as indicated in the instruction manuals. On this door, we didn't have to grind at all, and I'll show you that the window does go up and down perfectly fine. But the hump that we're talking about is actually right under the latch assembly. If you look at right under the latch assembly, there is a reinforcement patch, and that patch right on the corner, right where it angles in, is sometimes where the glass hits. In this case, on this door, it did not hit. So we got kind of lucky on this one. On some doors, you do have to modify, and on some doors you don't. I'm going to show you the way this door glass works. We still haven't done the wiring yet, so I'm still using my my battery jumper. We'll wire it at the end. You'll notice that the window goes up and down pretty fast because it's an 18-volt battery. Okay, you saw how fast that went down? This is going all the way back up. I'm gonna tap it so you see, and it's fully closed. This is the window in the full up position. Some doors, you'll notice you have a small gap. Still, you can see the edge of the glass exposed right here. It's very subtle. What I do on these cases, some doors you see it, some doors you don't. So in some cases, on the run channel, on this edge right here, I just backfill it a little bit to push the run channel just slightly forward, back, so it actually covers that gap so you don't see anything. And it's only roughly 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch that you need to push it back a little bit. That's it. So I basically roll the window down, pull the run channel back out, wedge sometimes urethane or some type of silicone glue in the back edge, and then roll it back up, and you'll see this gap gone. You notice if you have that gap, that very small gap in the very front corner, just pull the run channel back out a little bit. And I injected urethane in this front corner. You can also inject silicone, but normally since we have urethane at our disposal, we use urethane. You can also do silicone. So you basically push it back in. Roll the window back up. But at this point right here, you leave it out. You leave this point just slightly out. Let the window itself push the rest of the run channel back in, and it'll fill up that gap nicely. Now, if you notice, the gap is fully gone. So you have a small transition from here, tapers a little bit, and then fully flat all the way around. Just squeeze that back in there, and you're done. So it's nice and flat all the way around. And there you go. You can see how the close-up of it, there's no gap. And this window is pretty much ready to be wired. Everything works up and down nice. The door closes the way it should. And we proceed to the other side, which is obviously has nothing in it. We proceed to the other side and pop everything in and do the same application as we did to the left. Then at the end, we just run the wiring. The wiring's pretty simple. On the wiring, you have your option of the billet boots. I like using these rubber looms. They're pretty nice. They look original. They're not expensive, and that's why we like using them too. But some customers like the billet look. It is going to fit between here. Normally I put it at this angle. Find out correct heights where you want it. Remember, it has to be away from the travel of the glass. So normally I go, I figure my measurement, go away from the glass, and then just run your wires. You can also run your speaker wires through here and your door poppers if you have poppers. So you have, it's nice, a clean body line right here. You have nothing compromising it. This one, you can tell they're still working on the interior, so there's a piece of wood. It's going to be wrapped later on. We'll take that out and run the wires and go from there. Switch itself will actually go, the harness will come through here. In some cases, we do have to cut a little of the sheet metal out in order for the switch, the full switch, to go back into the panel. But I believe this panel is going to be custom made, so it'll be out a little bit, so it'll be fine. Okay, as everyone can tell, we are actually done with the kit, done with our part on installing the kit. We ran, we fully installed it with the power window setup, modified the latch assembly. We still left the tape marks indicating the measurements for the holes, and everything is wired in. But since we have really virtually no wiring, we kind of mocked it up. This is our jumper. We mocked it up, and then we were actually going to be running switches in the center console right here. So this is generally like a mock-up of the kit. This is the general mock-up of it. So when you want to run the switches without connecting them to your power setup, you can easily do that by just using a jumper. You can tell the loom that we used is right here. Wiring, there's no wiring exposed at all. So we're just going to show you how 12 volts looks like on this. Pretty smooth. All the way up, all the way down. It's not hitting anything, just normal, just the normal travel. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is actually I need to lubricate it. That's gonna be the last step. It'll ride a little bit smoother, but generally this is the way it works. All the way up, and there's no gaps. You see that? All the way around, no gaps. So once everything's dialed in, your adjustment is made. This we adjusted a little bit. This pitch adjustment down at the bottom was made also. Once that's done and everything's been modified, here's your working kit. Notice there is no filler plate on the front corner. It's all glass, giving you that factory look, just like GM would have made it, but they didn't. And there you go. Thank you for visiting our website. This is the final kit of the 67 to 72 Chevy truck bodies.